Whosoever would enlist in the cause of God beneath the standard of the cross, to serve the Lord alone and His bride, the church, so on and so forth in the formula of the Institute, gives a sketch of who the Jesuits are.
Though I had a little bit of an attraction to priesthood as a child, surely joining the Jesuits or being a priest was never the plan A. Plan A was always to get a good job, find a good girl, and then get married.
Life was going easy for me. But deep down, I was not satisfied with what was going. I felt there is something more to life.
I always considered my vocation as a mosaic, a picture that is still being made by placing together all that has happened, happening, and will happen to make a complete image.
I only heard from people that the Jesuits excel in what they do. Anyway, it got my attention and created a liking for them.
The seed of my vocation was nurtured by many people to whom I am grateful. As a small child, I had more inclination for sports. And I can say that God was gracious towards me and fulfilled the desires of my areas of interest through sports.
I come from a background where both my parents were pious and religious people. My mom would always pray that one of her sons may become a priest. It took some time, but God did answer her prayers. From my childhood days, I always wanted to become a priest. However, later during my adolescence, I realized that my intentions of becoming a priest were not right. I was not sure if I would fit the bill, as I was shy and reserved kind of a person. I completed my graduation studies from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, majoring in chemistry. I worked for a few years and then completed my post-graduation studies in management from Somaya's College. I had a good job and was also quite active in my parish, teaching Sunday school.
Somewhere as I was busy pursuing these dreams and I was quite successful in achieving some of them as well, I heard this voice within me during the novenas at St. Michael's Church, Mahim. This voice said to me that all these things which I was running after were not really meant for me. That was a little bit of a challenging moment for me, a life-changing moment for me. I was quite confused and I asked God, if these things were not meant for me, then what am I supposed to do? And suddenly all these childhood attractions of priesthood came up out of literally nowhere and became a living reality in front of me. It's too strong to ignore anymore.
For what will it profit them if they gain the whole world but forfeit their life? I recall vaguely from my school days that St. Ignatius quoted this Bible verse to draw the attention of Francis Xavier to God. At the start of my second year of college, I had these moments of questionings about the purpose and meaning of my life, about my faith, and about my future. Luckily, those questions found some relief in the Bible and from the Jesuit movement. By then, the words of St. Paul in Philippians 3:7 began to grip me more and more. Yet, whatever gains I had, these I have come to regard as loss because of Christ. Besides, Matthew 16:26 was there, reminding and linking me to St. Ignatius.
One of the strongest moments for me joining for priesthood when I felt Jesus telling me, "Follow me." It was during my retreat this happened, and I wasn't expecting it because I had some plans. As mentioned in the book of prophet Isaiah 55 verse 8, For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, says the Lord. And here I am today by the grace of the one who has called me.
While doing a discernment retreat under a Jesuit priest, I felt God calling me to work in his vineyard. Follow me was his voice I could strongly sense. Though scared and anxious I was, with a leap of faith, I took the plunge.
One thing led to another, and I got introduced to the Jesuits, a religious order whom I had never really heard of before. And as I began interacting with them, visiting their mission stations, and learning about their spirituality, I began to feel at home. I was quite sure that if I ever join, it will be the Jesuits and nothing else. And at the end, even when I knew that joining the Jesuits was the thing for me, I realized that I was way too afraid to do it. I had done some stupid things in life before, but this seemed like to be right at top of that list. Eventually, I guess it was just the grace of God that helped me to answer that call.
Until today, even after 10 years, I haven't regretted the decision I made to join the priesthood. Both my parents were very happy and supportive of me when I made the decision to become a priest. Why a Jesuit?
My first impression of the Jesuits was that they were radical. I have met Jesuits who were teachers, Jesuits who were social activists, Jesuits who were scientists, and also Jesuits who were simple priests. And each of them was very different from the other, and at the same time, they were similar. Being a Jesuit, first and foremost, fills me with a sense of pride in being a part of this rich legacy of the Society of Jesus. The fabulous educational institutions of the Jesuits and the pioneering missionary works set them apart.
I happened to attend a Jesuit mission camp in Nasik, and I was amazed and admired the work the Jesuits did for the poor and the needy in remote villages where there were no Christians. Living life in this remote village was not easy, but seeing the passion with which they worked and the radiant, satisfying smile on their face, I told myself, I want something like this.
At the same time, I also feel the responsibility that we have on our shoulders in living up to that legacy.
In 2012, I began my journey with the Jesuits. Ever since, it has been a process of being and becoming a Jesuit.
Jesuits are known to be man on frontiers and man on mission, to find God in all things and for the greater glory of God, inspires every Jesuit to explore and discover God calling in various fields of life. I am a sinner and yet called to be a companion of Christ. Gives me great consolation to be a Jesuit.
As I look back at my formation years, I feel graced to receive an invitation to be a Jesuit, to be one of the men that are available for the frontier missions. A mission impossible, and yet everything is possible by the grace of God.
Looking back, I see a journey overshadowed by God's love and grace. So it is with deep gratitude that I journey on as a Jesuit, a pilgrim of love and service.
The challenge before us today is the same as it was before the earlier Jesuits. How do we make a difference in the lives of the people? I would like to tell the youth to be themselves. Be bold, be brave, and dare to be different. Seek the will of God and make a conscious choice of what you want to do with your life. Do not let anyone else decide how you will live your life.
Jesus gives each one of us an invitation in our own context and situations. So don't be afraid to accept the invitation of Jesus. First, to be with Him, and then walk in the areas you are called. Take that leap of faith to work according to His standards and values for the greater glory of God. Commit yourselves because the call is His, but the answer is yours.
My dear young people, at baptism, each of us is given a new name, a new identity, and mission. Each one's mission is different. Discover and live that mission.
My message to today's young people would be cool, dare to be yourself, dare to be different. Let Jesus be the center of your life. God bless you all.